New videos every day.
Life, wisdom,
psyche truth, massage.
This is Athena Jezik, and we want to show how to work the gluteal muscles, in the hip area and all of that. We've got stretch pants on today because there's been a problem with people being offended, apparently, by trying to show this work on the skin. So my question is are these videos too offensive or too sexy or whatever for you? Because this is about learning. This isn't about trying to get sexy or anything like that. This is about really learning the techniques and having something aesthetically nice to be watching while you're learning. This isn't about anything else. There's no ulterior motive here. So let us know what's going on with that, because it seems strange that we try to teach a technique and people are offended by the learning process. The body is the body, and we shouldn't be so offended by the body, particularly when we're trying to take care of it. So just give that some thought. And if you're the one that's offended, I'm sorry that you are. Maybe you can work on some of the issues on yourself and see why you are. So anyway, to work the gluteal group, and is the hip is coming over to the side. There's part of the leg bone. There's a big knob that comes out. The acetabular, the hip is inside of there, and so it's kind of nice to get in and rotate the hip a little bit. At least this is how I do the work. Get a little rotation of the joint, grabbing it really well and going around it. And then also working into these are very big muscles. They're very strong muscles. These muscles, when you're exercising, you get these going. It's going to help the cardiovascular system. These are the muscles you want to get pumping. And then you can work down into the area that you'll find that the hip comes to the back, and there's little sit bones back here where you're going to be finding out if there's any restriction around there. This is good to do when people have tightness in their hamstrings, tightness in their low back. Working on like that, and then you come to the side here. And of course, all the work that you do in body work, you're always appropriate with people. There are massages that are specifically for other purposes, and those you can seek out and find. But the work that we're showing you here is strictly for medicinal and medical and relaxation, stress reduction measures. Now I'm working down a little bit into the leg because there's an attachment, that long band there, the iliotibial tract, tying into the hip and coming back up. And of course, it's a little bit more challenging when you're working through fabric as working on the body or with oil. Usually there is oil. Now, I'm not going to be doing any of that because I don't think it's appropriate for my style. But I do take the thumbs in. I have a lot more control of what I'm feeling there and working. And you can also check the SI area with the hip and feel if there's any kind of changes that go there. It's a pretty deep joint that's along that. The SI area, the hip joint area, it's pretty deep. And it does reposition the hip a little bit, so you can check that and see what that's feeling like with the tissues. Okay, and then a lot of kneading and even coming up to the crest, the hip along here, and working that direction. Okay, and then the same thing on the other side. Getting into the hip area. Around the hip, rotating that acetabular and the joint inside of the hip socket itself. Coming underneath, finding along here. Here's where the sit bones are, the ischium. Want to get under there and make sure there's a lot of attachments that come into there. And come up from the hamstrings and under that way. And onto the again. And even though this may not look like there's a lot happening, it is moving things around. And we're going to do big kneading. And some work down. You know, just really kind of feel where there might be some tension or issues. It is important to keep these hip joints nice and soft. Okay. And you can come down to the knees if you like, or even feet. You won't be able to see me here, but I am giving her a little bit of a stretch just to check it, and then back up. Okay, so there's a little bit of work for the hip, and hopefully you were able to see what to do. You can play with that a little bit, and it is much easier to do if you just drape somebody, having that part open and working the side without any fabric on it. It's much easier. Thank you.